Hi. Things I wish I knew as a young parent. I regret that I passed on math phobia to my children. And I really regret this. This is one of those things that when you're older, you come to realize, oh, it's my fault. I passed on math phobia. And I didn't even realize I had it. I just knew that I never did well in math. I always did well in English. I loved to read. But my entire childhood, my parents were immigrants. My father was from Spain. My mom was from Puerto Rico. So they spoke English and Spanish. They spoke Spanish to us, but they wanted us to speak English. Therefore, that was their big concern. Just do well at school. And each year in New York, from first grade to 12th, I would bring home a report card. And the report card said there were 3 grades: S for satisfactory, N for not satisfactory, and U, I believe, for unsatisfactory. That seems like a synonym, but somehow the U was worse. And I never got the U, but I never got the S either. I always got N. And my mother would look at this and say, well, what's this, dear? And I'd say, but I try. And she'd just shake her head. Well, you're so sickly. And it's true, I was very sickly as a child. I had really bad tonsils, and I was sick a lot, so I would miss a lot of school. And that's a very bad thing to do with math, because as we all know, it gains. Each you know this, then you need to know that, and you need to know it's progressive. You need to know one thing to get to the next. But I didn't know that. My parents didn't know that. They would just say, just do well. And so when I was about to graduate, I realized, oh, gee, I'm going to be in trouble, because New York had a regent exam. And, I was hoping I wouldn't have too many problems. But we were living in this area, and I don't know, we did well. But anyway, my parents bought a home in New Jersey. And they did it, what year was that? They did it when I turned 16. So I actually it was really before I was going to graduate high school. But I knew about that regent exam. Anyway, so we get to New Jersey, and every state's different. And even though I didn't do well in math, as long as I had enough credits, I could graduate. But I couldn't go to college because I needed algebra. So as soon as I graduated, I went and took a algebra class, and I passed it. And there was a good tutor there. And then I went to university. And so I did that for 2 years. Then we moved to another state. And, in Los Angeles, where I raised my children. And the problem happened when my kids were little. I just played word games with them. I read books to them. I had them memorize nursery rhymes. A lot of reading to the library. But did I ever mention numbers? No, I did not. We could have been counting. Instead of doing nursery rhymes, we could have been counting. But no, it never dawned on me that this would be a problem. Never dawned on me. I just said, well, they'll figure it out, because, they're not sickly. And I figured, as long as they're... But I realized, what, somehow I must have passed on this thing, oh, numbers are scary. I must have, because I can only blame myself, because somehow they could not do well. They did okay. They probably did better than me, but not well enough, compared to their English scores, which were, like high school level in like 3rd grade or something. I mean, because all we did was read. We read to the library. We were big readers. So as a result, it was skewed. They were out of balance. Well, they got along, of course. They could write beautifully. They could speak beautifully. But oh, what was I doing? I didn't help them get better at math, and I really regret that. What do I regret as a parent? I regret not realizing what I was doing, not realizing I could have really been helping, made it a game, because every child, and I do believe this, I became a teacher. I went, we were very poor, but I did go to school at night, and I became a teacher. And, one of the things I realized was that children are tested as soon as they come to school. That first grade or kindergarten, little child walks in happily, and every child is born brilliant. I feel environment is everything. And as long as they're healthy, but every child is born curious and full of hope and love, giggling, sweet. And as long as they have a good environment, they will progress. But they can be so much more if you help them. And I realized at age 4, my kids were so bright, so bright. I'd take them to the library, they'd be reading Curious George, and they were very, very bright children. But I didn't help them with math, and so I really regret that. And I think we all have regrets as parents. I know my parents, they were, as I said, they were immigrants. So when we moved to this other neighborhood, well, this was very middle class, and it was a different experience. Everybody was expected to go to college where I lived. Whereas I left my friends in New York, they all got married at 19. So it was a different, it's so funny. The minute you move somewhere else, something else happens, But math, I let my poor children down. And I talked to them about it. Go, oh, Mom, don't worry about it. We survived. They're both doing well. But still, I feel bad about it. And I'm sort of like passing on this knowledge to you that maybe it's something you haven't thought about. Maybe you haven't thought about your childhood. Maybe you don't want to think about math. Maybe you're like me. And, or maybe you're raising your children now and you're thinking, oh dear, this is a good thing to bring up. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'll start playing games with numbers, just counting grapes, whatever, just looking at a pizza and saying, oh, do you want half? And then 50%. I mean, there's so many fun things you can do with numbers. Now I know. Now I know this, but I didn't know when my kids were little. So that's my advice. I hope it helps. Please let me know if you have anything to add. Am I way off? Should I not have regrets? I think I should. And I hope you have none. And I hope your children are healthy and happy and with no phobias. If you like anything here, please press the like button. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.